Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris, coming to you from Lagos, Nigeria. We've spoken often in The Vortex about reception of Holy Communion and proper expression of reverence at Mass and numerous liturgical abuses and so forth. And here in Nigeria, the same types of discussions are being had by rank-and-file Catholics as well. So it shouldn't come as a great surprise that there are liturgical abuses rampant in the Mass here, just like in the West. Although some Catholics in the West seem to have a kind of idealized vision of the faith in Africa, they need to disabuse themselves of that. The Protestant influence is very strong in Catholic circles here as well. From lack of understanding of sacred scriptures to the devotional life to an almost total misunderstanding of the nature of the sacraments, the Protestant heresy has made major inroads into African Catholicism. At Mass, faithful Catholics have been dismayed at what's called praise and worship demonstrated at Mass. For example, right at the moment of consecration, people are standing up with arms thrown up in the air, carrying on in tongues and dancing and so forth. Faithful Catholics here have described many Masses as little else than Protestant Pentecostal worship services, complete with Protestant hymns and Protestant emotional outbursts. These sorts of concerns sounded all too familiar to us, at least in substance, if not in style, as debates about this are growing more intense in many places in the West. As the traditional Latin Mass continues to grow, the difference between Catholic Mass and Protestant praise and worship hijinks at Catholic Mass become ever more stark. But perhaps not quite so stark as what we saw at Mass this past Sunday. As much of the establishment church in the Western countries continues to talk down about reception of Holy Communion, kneeling, or on the tongue, take a look at what we saw. Faithful Catholics in Nigeria not only receive on the tongue while kneeling, but they process up the aisle on their knees. That's right, they get on their knees the moment they exit their pews and process up the aisle on their knees, receive our Lord's body and blood, and then turn around and go back to their places on their knees. Can you imagine, could you even begin to picture the opprobrium that would be rained down on a Catholic doing this at Mass at St. Whoever's Parish in anywhere USA? The diocesan staff at the chancery would schedule an emergency meeting. Notifications would be fired off to all the local clergy. A flurry of statements would be forthcoming. Press releases would be issued. Letters from various departments and divisions of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops would fly off the presses alerting local this and local that. And all this because a Catholic just wants to approach his Lord and God on his knees and receive him on his knees. Meanwhile, hardly a peep as abuse after abuse continues as par for the course in parish after parish, Sunday after Sunday, Mass after Mass. Nope, nary a peep. Maybe it's Catholics in the West that have something to learn here. Reporting from Nigeria, God love you. I'm Michael Voris.